Alright, this is Dave and I'm with tjrhodes01. We just finished up a Velocity 50 build and we're going to talk about the build a little bit. What did you figure out on it?
I figured out a few different things. For one thing, I like the kit. It went together pretty straight. When I laid the frames on together after building everything onto one side frame, everything lined up pretty well. Seemed to be a pretty good quality plastic on the kit. As to the 550, I mean, there was a little bit of brittleness, nothing major on the 550, but it seems that they took care of that issue. I like the beefiness of the swash. They increased the strength in it, added another bearing in there. Head block being a little bigger, the main grips, they seem like the tolerances are really tight. They have the larger bearings in it, beefing up that main grip. I like the idea of the adjustable servo mounts. Was pretty nice.
Yeah, I like that too.
That was a pretty neat little feature. Looks like it'd be a pretty solid hard mount, and no trying to carve your side frames, and I won't mention any other kits, but to fit 8717s, which you see I'm not using them, but there are quite a few that will be running them 8717s, and it was kind of nice that they thought about that. I'm still running the 760 MGs by I&O Lab, which are in my 550, and I'm quite impressed with them at approximately 140 ounces of torque, and very precise, and centering is very well, and they do seem to move pretty fast at, I believe, 0.08, possibly 0.09 transit speed, but the reaction time's really well. Gear mesh on the helicopter was really nice. I heard a couple of other builds that the fan maybe didn't go on there quite possibly straight. I'm not sure if that was some kind of mishap. Mine seemed to stack on there real well. If you see the fan clutch is pretty nice. It moves pretty good to me. Not much wobble in it. It's pretty straight. So did the fan. The gear mesh is right on. Motor sat right in place and bolted up just like it should. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of nightmares on a build. I'd say it went together pretty smooth. I was pretty happy.
This is your first time using line governor, right?
Yep, that's the first time I used the Align governor, and I did find out that the Align governor was designed for the Align helicopter. The Outrage did make a very nice CNC mount for your governor sensor, which I tried anyway. If there's anybody that figured out a good way to use that pretty piece of bling, I'd be more than welcome to take advice on how to make it work. But if you look at the pictures, you see I mounted it pretty much like Align did. Took a little thought to figure out a good clean way to do it, but Align doesn't allow much for adjustment up and down on it. So it did work out. The kit did work out where it came out pretty good. It looks like it'd be a pretty solid mount. It'll stay.
Yeah, it was triggering good, and it looks like it ought to work there.
Yep. The torque tube. I'm a belt kind of guy, but I have to say the torque tube seems to go in pretty clean. The mesh was really nice. The gears lined up good. Haven't flown it yet, so I can't tell you how it's going to sound and how it's going to move, but doesn't seem to be a lot of backlash. Looks pretty nice. Ball links seem to be great quality. The links are solid. They're strong, just like the 550 kit. I believe they are the same material. Ball link ends, still I believe same material, and they go in there really nice and snug, and if they work just like the 550, few flights, they'll be nice and loose and where you want them, not too tight and not too loose. And I've probably got, I'd say, well over 250 flights on my 550, and I have just finally replaced the ball link ends before IRCHA just because, and there seemed to be no issues with them. But I just wanted them a little tighter. I figure at the price, it's a little piece of insurance.
You just recently started using GY 520s, right?
Yes, this one also will have the 520 as my 550, and I am ultimately impressed with them. I've tried a few different gyros. I fly with one of the guys here in the club that flies to 550s, so I have got to fly those. I preferably have flown mainly on 401. And the 401s do an outstanding job, but as for your Puro consistency, they really fall off right there. That's why we started checking out the 770s, and they do an awesome job. The Puro consistency is great. Programming on some of your Spartans, it's a handful of program, and they seem to work real well, but I haven't had a whole lot of experience with them. I have had experience with the Curtises, and they just seem to have a little bit of hover issues that are kind of funky, that aren't really bad, but I just wasn't impressed with it. Now the 520, once you figured out how you go to the computer with the software, man, it is so programmable. You can make it do whatever you want. You can make it fly like any gyro out there on the market you want today. And I am ultimately impressed with it. The Puro consistency, you even are capable of programming the Puro consistency. If you want it to be sloppy, you can make it sloppy. If you want it to be consistent as can be, it gives you that setting. It gives you a stop setting. It really works great.
That's kind of nice the way it fits in the frame there and sort of protected.
Oh yes, that I was impressed. The instruction manual, when I looked at it, they don't even tell you nothing about putting it there. But man, as soon as I looked at that, I thought, you know what, that gyro mount will make a great spot for your receiver. If you're using Futaba's little small receivers or JRs, doesn't matter, they'll both fit right there. And that mount where I placed the, it acts as a guard. It fits perfect there. It's out of the nitro, and a 770 will still fit in that. There's plenty of room.
Now it's kind of nice. He gives you two positions. You can have it level for a gyro or have a double decker for your radio gear.
Yep, that was kind of nice. I didn't understand why they did that. I don't know if they intended on doing that, but if they did, thank you, Charlie Stevens. It worked perfect.
Now, what did you figure out about the canopy tabs?
The canopy tabs, same as the 550. The canopy tabs, if you used if you didn't use the cap screws,
more like this one, right?
Yeah, the top one is a real issue. That if that cap screw was to be pulled out, it still will rip the frame. I actually had it do damage on my 550 in a crash.
Chips like a rock chip on the windshield.
You got it. It's the cap screw just fits inside the hole. So what I did was I just took a Dremel tool, right at assembly, opened the hole up a little bit, giving you plenty of room for it to flex. Without doing that, it won't even flex.
Without leveraging the frame?
Exactly, without leveraging the frame.
So you could probably use a button head cap screw also.